What's up, YouTube? This is Damon, aka the world's worst magician, and today, by popular demand, I'm bringing you a review on Oh Snap by Jibrizy Taylor and SansMinds. And as you can see the signature on there, I'm actually honored that Jibrizy sent me this himself so that I could give you a review on it. So I really appreciate that, good sir. Thank you for letting me spread a review to my subscribers and the rest of the world. And if you're not familiar with this effect, what it allows you to do is visually change a deck of playing cards into money. So I'll leave a link in the description to where you can view the trailer on this, and then I'm actually going to show you a quick demo right now. So out of respect for the effect, I did kind of a covered demo where I just waved my hand over it. If I did it open due to my frame rate, you can totally see it. I uploaded a demo video and then put it in slow motion, and you can see it happen. But it happens so fast in real life. I mean, I hate that I don't want to show it to you because people will slow it down and try to figure out the effect. But it happens so fast in real life that nobody is going to see it at all. But when you do put it in quarter speed or whatever, you can kind of see it happen. I looked in their trailers and you can actually see it happen in their trailers, but out of respect for my reviews, I just waved my hand over it and then made it happen. But let's get into the negatives of the effect. So one, it's not a large negative, but this trailer that they have is not real. So some of it is, but there are two, this piece in particular, where they drop it, it turns into money, and then they spread it. And then there's a part with dollar bills at the end where they do it, and then they immediately spread and show you all the bills. Those are faked. And, they really didn't even have to do that to try and sell this effect. But seeing all these bills, how they are laying flat, this is actually my Gimmick stack, and I'm leaving it there so you can see when you have it out, it just looks like a stack of money, but it's not going to spread completely flat like that. And there's almost no reason for you to do this anyways. You wouldn't walk into a pool table or a pool hall and say, hey, look at this card, boom, and turn it into money. Like that's, I don't know, maybe you would, but that doesn't seem like a realistic situation. The way that Jibrizy uses it is he says, hey, I make my money. I make my money with cards, and then he does the effect, and he has a deck of playing cards in his hands, and then he changes it. And to me, that's logical. It's a good progression. This of throwing it on the table or doing whatever you're going to do doesn't make sense. So those two are fake, though, because the bills laying completely flat and showing them completely single like that, that's not accurate. There is a gimmick in there, and if you handed out that gimmick, they would clearly see what you were doing. So shaking my finger at them for doing that, because honestly, they didn't have to do it. This effect is pretty good to, where you don't need to oversell it like that. Another negative would just be an angle problem, and it's not a huge one, but if you have the gimmick in your hand, the audience needs to be to the front and to the back of your hand. If that makes sense. So if you're left-handed, front and back of your left hand. If you're right hand, front and back of your right hand. That's where the audience needs to be. So you can use your body control to help with that, but the more that you kind of curl in to try and block, the more that they're not even going to see the effect if they're, kind of behind wherever your hand is. So just be conscious of that. It's not a huge problem, but it is present. So just be aware of that. And the last slight negative, is very slight, there is an audible noise when the change happens. So if you're into magic, if you've seen a lot of effects, you probably have some sort of understanding of how this works. So when he says, oh snap, I'm taking that literally. Do a snap right when the change happens, snap your fingers and you will cover that noise, but just know that there is a noise. So if you just walk up and do it, you're going to hear a little bit of a noise there. So those are the negatives that I have, and they're not even really that big of negatives. Like I said, the angle thing, you can cover it. The audible noise, that's part of how it has to happen. And them, doctoring that trailer, that is a negative for me. I didn't like that. But let's get on to the positive. Sorry, I've been talking for a while. This thing is visually crazy. I mean, I sat there for at least 30 minutes just doing it to myself so I could see how quick it was. I mean, it's very fast. It's pretty much instant. I mean, as soon as you go to do it, it's already done. So visually, it looks crazy because you're going to instantly see that money pop up. And then, you know, with the handling, you can spread it out. One thing that I was playing with is using play money and just kind of doctoring it to the size of a bill. And then, you know, you could flip this out and then say, hey, how'd that play money get in there? Boom. And then go into another effect as well. So visually, it works. It's fast. I would recommend using 5 bills just because when you do the spread and you start peeling them off, it makes a little bit sense. I do 3 in one hand, 2 in the other, 1 in the gimmick, and then you just kind of flip. It is covered, so questions you may have is, can you see the gimmick? You cannot. It'll be covered front and back. And then angles, I covered that earlier, so just make sure you use your crowd control. It does have an audible noise. Reset is fairly instant, 1 to 3 seconds, depending on your skill level. They teach you how to do it behind your back, but really, I don't see a need for that if you're moving to do it again. They're showing you that to get in position the first time, so this is not a trick that you would, you know, keep doing like, hey, look at this card turning into money, look at this card turning, you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't do that. So the reset, if you do it for somebody and you walk away, while you're walking to your next person, you can totally reset it. I mean, easily. Other than that, I don't think I have that much else to cover. This is a really strong effect. I was kind of worried because, you know, in my head, I was like, I already know how this is going to happen. But the method that's used is a little bit different than what I had in my head because of the way their bills looked in the trailer. It looked almost like a mouse trap, and that's not how this works. So I was pleasantly surprised, and I do think that this is a really strong effect for a closer. You do a couple of card tricks, and then, you know, the same way that he does it. Hey, I make my money with cards, boom, and then do it. And it's something shocking, and I don't think that the crowd will be ready for it when you do this. So, is it worth it? Of course, I always leave that to you. I feel like this is a really strong piece of visual magic, and that if you do things like adding this play money or something like that, that you could even build off of this, because it's not really a starter unless you do a lot of magic with money. Then you could say, you know, you pull out the deck of cards, boom, turn it into money, and then go into your money routine. But, you know, I would see it as kind of more of a closing thing or something like that. So, yeah, I think it's good. Visually stunning. Works pretty well, and I'll leave a link in the description to where you can find this. Again, thank you to Jibrizy for sending this my way. I really appreciate it. And yeah, that's been your look at Oh Snap by Jibrizy Taylor and SansMinds. All right, see ya.
Well, I hope you liked that review. And if you have any questions, magic tricks, or decks that you want to see reviewed, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. As always, I would greatly appreciate it if you would click that like button and subscribe for any future reviews. All right,